Hello and welcome to Write, Learn and Earn. Are you an author and do you want to increase your productivity? Well, today I have got multi-genre writer Jann, who is, I know her as a terrific children's author, but she does write in multiple genres. And during the pandemic, she achieved phenomenal results with a rather surprising tool. And so, Jann, I'm going to ask you to tell us all about it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what kind of writing you do, and we're going to shoot right over to your review of published or Rocketbook. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi Kim, thanks for having me. Okay, yes, so sometimes when you're writing, you can't always get to your computer and it can be quite frustrating because you don't feel as productive as you could be. And I found that Rocketbook, which I've been using for a couple of years now, is actually a really, really good tool. Now, this is actually quite a big one, as you can see. It's an A3 one. They do come sort of, sorry, it's an A4 one. They come in A5 and they come in A6. So they do have different sizes. And basically you're wondering, well, what is a Rocketbook? A Rocketbook is like a notebook. It's a notebook that you can write in. So you have pages. There's some stuff I've done earlier. You can draw, or you can have nice blank pages to start something new. Now it actually has little dots on the pages, but don't worry about those because they don't appear on your final documents. Now you're saying to me, well, why do I want to write in a notebook? Okay, well, the reason I want to write in a notebook is because what happens with the Rocketbook is you write. So you go ahead, you write whatever you want to write. So here we go. And I'm just going to turn this over because it's something easy to show you. So here's something I wrote earlier. Here's one of my pirate jokes. Okay. And once you've written however many pages you want to, you can then actually upload it onto your computer, which is an amazing tool because what it has is you get your telephone ding, and it has an app, a Rocketbook app, which looks something like that. Okay, so you've basically taken you've done your writing during the day, you've gone out to maybe a coffee shop, or you've been sitting at the bottom of the garden and it's a lovely sunny day, or for those of you where it's a bit cold, you've been sitting indoors but you've not been near your computer. All right, so we've now got this, and then what we basically do is we get our Rocketbook and we take a photograph of it. But it's a special type of photograph that obviously goes through the app. And when you take the photograph, and I'm just going to do it very, very quickly. There's a little button on the bottom. You press that. Comes up with the screen. And it does it all automatically. All right. So what it does is as soon as you position correctly. So if you're a bit squiffy, it won't take it. If you're a bit too close, it won't take it. It basically needs to get the QR code, which is there, and the four corners into it. So it will know when it's ready. The screen then goes completely green. And what it does, I don't know if you can see this at the bottom here, it drops down the document. Now that can be as many pages as you want. In this case, I've just done one. The other day I did 15 pages that I happened to. If you've written your whole book, that's great. But then you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I've written my whole book. I filled my whole book up. So that can be a problem, but I'll come to that just now. What do I do with this? All right, so now it's in my telephone, and I've now got to get it onto my computer. Well, Rocketbook is quite clever. There we are. Those are the links. Now I've used for example, I've used my email, I've used Dropbox, I've used Google Drive, Cloud, Evernote, and it has a whole list of the different tools you can link to. So once you actually program these in, you don't program in obviously on the page, that's just to remind me where I've sent everything. You actually program it into the app, and the app will then automatically send it. So we've got to this stage, we've got it there, we've got it ready to send, and then if I can get my finger on the right button, there we go. Now it's thinking about it. So what it's actually doing is processing and starting to send it. So I only did one page, so it does it quite quickly. And it's done. That's it. It's gone. And if I go into my email, it will be sitting in my email. So you have this facility where it goes through. Now it goes through as a PDF. So basically it goes through like a photograph, exactly as my writing is. Okay, so exactly like this. But this clever little gadget has another tool. It will actually recognize your handwriting and it will change it into a file and it will type it all out for you. Now, occasionally it gets little odd words the wrong way round, or it puts one word at the top of the page. So you just have to check it. And you've obviously got the PDF just to check it against all the time. So it makes it very easy to do that. So there you go. That's what I did earlier. And you can just see there at the bottom, there are the two documents. Now I'm going to click on top one. There you go. That's what I wrote. And then if I go back and I click on the bottom one, and I'm just going to open it in Docs. Sorry, can you see that? In Docs, which I just pressed. And I'm going to put it through. Sorry, it was me. There we go. This needs a minute. But you can open it on your computer. Obviously, I'm opening it on the telephone because I'm trying to show you how it works. But it would actually open on your normal email. And there you go. There's the document. Obviously, when you download it on the computer, it's not quite as spaced out as that. It actually reads a lot smoother. And then what I do is I actually then, I save it actually into Word because that's how I work. And then I just make sure it's all the way I want it. So I use something like Grammarly. And if there are any words, for example, that it didn't quite read properly, and that's usually because the top and the bottom, the lines, the curlies and the tops of the letters overlap a little bit. And then it can get a little bit confused. So an H, it can sometimes read as an N. But if you've got a nice gap between them, it shouldn't be a problem. So you need fairly neat writing, obviously, for this, but it does catch on quite quickly. So it then goes up and I've got basically my document sitting in my computer ready for me to either carry on working or I can then start again. Now you're saying, hang on a minute, but you just filled up all your Rocketbook. Yes, I did. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to buy another Rocketbook. It comes with a cloth. And this is actually quite, it's almost like a plasticky feel, this surface. And what you do, first of all, make sure that it's gone to where you want it to go. Because once you wash it off, it's gone. Okay, so you have to make sure you get your cloth, damp cloth, you wash this off, you wait for it to dry, and you can start writing again. It's as simple as that. So you can reuse it again and again and again. And I've been using this one for about I read it only being edited and illustrated. I find it an amazing tool, and you can use it for anything. As I say, you can do drawings, it will recognize mathematics, you can do all sorts of things with it. And they have a children's version as well. And the children's version has the lines on it, obviously, because kids need to have the lines to draw with, blank pages, and then squares for their mathematics. And it comes with special pens. So you have what is called a friction pen. Where are we? There we go, friction pen. And you can actually get sets of these, which is rather nice. There you go. So you can get, have I got that upside down? I have, haven't I? Is that better? Yes, that's better. So you can get the pens for writing with, but you can also get highlighters, which is really, really nice, because if you want to highlight something, then obviously you can go back and look at it or whatever later. Or if you just want to do a colouring in, I actually use them for colouring in. Why a friction pen? Well, very easily. I've written this here at the bottom. And say I'd spelt it he instead of high. And I thought, oh gosh, I should have put an I there. Basically, I'm going to try and do this on my shoulder, over my shoulder. The friction is exactly that. With friction, it rubs off. So it acts like an eraser, although it's not actually an eraser. You could not use this as an eraser, and you can't use an eraser on this. But you can actually rub it out, and then you put back in. So you have a special set of pens to actually use with it. If you use a normal pen, that is the end of your Rocketbook. It will not rub out. So you must make sure you're using the right pen. So in a nutshell, I think that's probably a lot of the things to do with Rocketbook. Is there any questions that you have to add to that?
Because I was just discussing with you earlier on that because of the pandemic, I am homeschooling. So we've got 2 computers in the house, which my husband and I are supposed to work. But when they're doing their work, well, that just means that we can't actually do any of our work. But if I had something like this, I could actually be writing my novel, just handwriting it, and then sending it through to my computer for me to edit at a later stage. I mean, I absolutely love the idea. I find that very exciting. And you actually wrote more than one book using the Rocketbook. How many books did you write?
I lost you a little bit there, Kim. Sorry, I got you to you actually wrote.
You actually wrote books during the pandemic using Rocketbook. How many books did you write using this?
Okay, so I basically wrote the Yogininis series, which is a series that's going to be set in the Middle East. And there were 3 books there. And I'm currently between the computer and the Rocketbook, depending on my location at the time, writing another one, which is it's basically another series that's set in the Middle East, Falak the Falcon. And I'm also messing around with my 10th Polly book, which is Polly's Halloween Paralympics. So it's nice because also if you want to go out to, say, a coffee shop or something of that nature, you don't necessarily want to carry your computer with you, and you can just take it along. It's got a couple of other really good features as well, and I think they're actually really good for the kids one, but also for the adults one, which is if you do that, it's not broken. If you do that with your telephone, your iPad, or your computer, there's a very good chance, and especially if you drop it from waist height to the floor, there's a very good chance that that's the end of your device, whereas you just pick up your Rocketbook and carry on. Likewise, if it gets wet, so say, for example, I go out and I drop it in a puddle, yes, I could lose my day's work because obviously, as you heard me say, you use water to actually sort of clean off the pages. So you'd actually clean this off with a cloth. But it's only that day. So it's not like I dropped my computer and it fell in a puddle. And although it didn't crack, it went and that was the end of it. And I lost my whole hard drive and my last year's worth of work. So it's nice from that point of view, and especially with kids as well. Very, very durable. And they can, like, you know, if it falls off the table, it's not a train smash. They can draw in it, they can write in it, and then you can just upload it and send it to the teacher.
That's fantastic. And then, Jann, you did mention, which I'm quite excited about, that you've organized for South African viewers, you've organized a special discount for those people who want to purchase it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So if you're living in South Africa, and you want to purchase any of the Rocketbooks or any of the Rocketbook products, so that includes the pens or the books, the big ones, the medium ones, the small ones, it doesn't matter what you want, you can actually get a discount. And you go through to the www.getrocketbook.coza, and then when you're filling it in, it will ask you if you've got a code, and you'll get a 5% discount, and the code is INDIES, capital INDIES, Indies, which is actually what we are. We're indie authors, independent authors. So we've used Indies, but you don't have to be an author. Anybody who's living in South Africa and wants that 5% discount, and why not, you can do that. And they will post it then directly to your home. So you don't have to come back through us. It will go straight to the house for you.
We're going to post that link at the bottom. And then also, if you are not in South Africa, sorry, but we will put down an international link for you to be able to purchase it to be delivered to you. So this 5% discount is for our South African viewers. We will negotiate to try and see if we can try and organize in the future some other discounts. But definitely the international link will be in the description at the bottom, and And the code for the South African discount is also going to be in the description at below. And I'm also going to be sharing Jann's links to purchase her current set of books that are on Amazon. I can't wait until the new books come out. As soon as they do, I will upload the links. So Jann, like, tell us a couple of tips. There's something that like worries me a little bit when I write all over the place. So I will write a chapter in the beginning, and then I'll write a chapter at the end. And so if I'm uploading those chapters, how do I organize all of that without it going absolutely chaotic?
Okay. So when you upload from the app, it will select a random number, and you're going to say, oh my goodness, how am I going to know what number is what? But there's a way of getting around that. And can you see that? Can you see where it says pirate joke? So I'm just actually going to put the two symbols on either side. Double hash, whatever you call the document, hash. So say, for example, as an author, I want to upload chapters, okay? And the way I have my books, each chapter starts and finishes. So I don't necessarily keep them in the same order. I might actually get to the end of the book and think, you know what, I would have actually preferred that chapter over there. So, but if it's just a number, it's actually quite hard to follow. So wrong way around, here we go. So for example, I've got Palm Island is the name of this particular chapter, and I can move Palm Island wherever I want. So if I stick it into a document, for me, in my case, Word, then I've got it in there as Palm Island. And then the next one I put up, I say Camel Beauty Contest. Then I know what that one is. And sometimes a chapter obviously links into the next chapter, so you do need them in order. But you can always write a number on the top of each page so that you actually can keep it in. I mean, it will upload in order, but if you want to sort of emphasize that further, you can put that in, and then of course you can just erase it once you put it into your Word document or where you want it.
I love it. And number one, I think to myself, it is so much cheaper than buying new computers because our family, we've actually got 3 kids that are homeschooling. Luckily, the one has got access to her own computer, but with the other 2, we would have to buy new computers in order for us to be fully productive. So purchasing a Rocketbook is so much cheaper than buying a whole new computer. I love that. And then eventually, when we come
up, just cutting in, the children's one is almost half the price of the adult one as well.
Oh, that's very exciting. And then of course the other thing is that you can just use it anywhere. So if you're going to your child's ballet class or soccer practice, you're just sitting there just staring at the kids, but you could actually be productive. You could be writing and sending it through to yourself via email. You can put it on. And I love the Google, that you can share it to Google, because my editor and we share a folder for my books. And then she will do the line editing on her side, and I'll get a little note to say, you need to work on chapter 3 or whatever. So I just absolutely love this. This is a great way. And I also must say, I like writing. I haven't been able to physically write for a very long time. So this will allow me to be in the modern world and with one foot in the old classical world. I absolutely love it.
Not just that. It's actually, especially for young primary school children, they still need to learn how to write. They maybe don't think they do yet, but actually they do. So just being on a keyboard all day is a skill, and it's a very important skill for them, but they also need to know how to form their letters and how to write. So it's good practice for them as well, but also for drawing. I mean, that's one of the things I sort of touched on. Here's some of my sketches, which are not, I know, so brilliant, but anyway, they're to give my illustrator an idea of what I want. And you can put 2 or 3 on one like I have here. Here you go. I don't think you can just about see that. And then you can actually just isolate one part if you want. You can put it into your illustration program. You can cut, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can color it in, you can just outline it, you vector it, whatever you want to do once you've done the main drawing. But the nice thing is, if you just want to sit there and doodle one day, and I know that you have some beautiful, beautiful drawings in your books, Kim. You know, maybe you're out and about somewhere and you suddenly think, oh, I think I could do my dragon looking like this. You can just sit there and you can draw it as long as you've got your friction pen, and it doesn't matter what color it is, because of course you can alter all of that once you get it into your art program. You can just sit there and play with it.
Love the idea. Okay, so everyone, thanks very much for watching. Jann, thanks very much for attending. If you look at the top side of our channel, you can actually subscribe to a newsletter where I'll send out marketing tips to you on a regular basis. And then please do make comments in the bottom, so that we can get ideas for extra videos that you would really like to watch, or issues that you might have, particularly for publishing and crafts. And Jann, I will see you when we have our virtual writing thing. I'm looking so forward to that. And I will pop some details down about that. They'll probably disappear after the event, because after the event it's going to, you know, not really be worthwhile to anyone anymore. But I will, please remember to claim your 5% discount if you are a South African for this fabulous product. Thank you, Jann, so much for joining us. I just know we're going to write lots more books after we've learned to use this great tool.
Super. Thanks, Kim. Cheerio.
Bye-bye. Bye for now.